So we'll start away with the first question from Andreas. He was asking, are there plans to expand to offering digital tokens backed by other physical assets, example like silver? So yeah, we do have plans here to expand into other different kind of physical assets such as silver. It could be diamonds as well. Maybe Casey, you want to elaborate a little bit more about the plans here we have?
Yes, definitely. Basically, anything that's fungible that can be stored in a custodial vault is fair game. So the next item that we plan to list is actually diamonds and silver. But that would really depend on if we could scale our digital gold business first.
Right. The next question from Andres as well. Are ICO purchases only with Ether? I'm not really sure if I
Um,
understand. Yeah.
well, so basically you can purchase. So we're going to be extending Shapeshift into the Crowdsale purchase website. So you can pay with any other cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, Litecoins, Dash, and some other Tether. So basically all the coins that are supported on Shapeshift will be supported. The reason why we are only dealing with cryptocurrencies at this point is because the funds are actually that are paid into the crowd sale go directly to the contract, which is on Ethereum, which is basically an Ethereum address. So that's the reason why we can only accept cryptocurrencies that are supported on Shapeshift, and we can't support fiat purchase for the ICO at this time.
Okay, I hope that answers the question, Andres. The next question from him again is there any avenue for physical asset redemption?
Yes, so that currently is in place right now in our beta app that you can request to redeem the physical gold bar. So if you have tokens, you can convert that into a physical gold bar, which can then be redeemed using a specialized one-time use Ethereum key. So we have what's called a redemption key, which is basically a way for you to authenticate yourself to out of band on to a Digix employee that will redeem the physical gold for you. Currently, we only support physical redemption at our vaults in Singapore, but we are there's some static.
Right.
Yeah, so currently we only do physical redemption at the vaults in Singapore, which is located at the Singapore Freeport, which is right by the airport, actually. And in the future, we will be adding support for shipping the gold bars. We currently do shipping now, but it's done through email support for us. But we will be adding an interface so that you can ship the gold bars to your location.
Right. And physical asset delivery could be possible as well. However, this could be we have to reach out to you and arrange the logistic that could make it possible. So I think his next question is where will these physical assets be located? So our custodian vault that participates on the blockchain is Malka Amit. Malka Amit is a global security vaulting facilities company that provides securitized vaults around the world in global cities such as Singapore, Shanghai, Tokyo, and London, and many other more. So why do we choose Malka Amit? Malka Amit is apart from being such a huge global player, they have a very reliable underwriter in the name of Lloyd's London. So Lloyd's London is the one that assures all forms of insurance available on the physical asset in the event of fire, theft, or any form of disaster. So these assets are all located here in the Singapore vault that we contracted them with. Yeah. The next question: how are you?
Yes, so if you look at
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys look at the beta app right now, there's some few assets on there, which we hold the receipts that contain the signature from Malka. So you'll see that the physical asset actually is in their vaults, and they have signed for it that they have received those assets, and you can trace the serial number there as well.
Right, right. That's a very important point. So we do upload all forms of receipts from our custodians, be it the purchase gold receipt and the vaulting storage receipt. So these two receipts will be uploaded via the IPFS, and you could always access the assets verification paperwork online at any time.
Yeah. Yes, and then also we also have another participant on our platform, which is the auditor, and the auditor basically performs a third-party audit of the physical assets on a quarterly basis, and they actually also publish the results of their audit onto the blockchain and stored on IPFS. So they sign every time the quarterly audits happen. They release that document and put it on IPFS, and you can see the audit history of any physical asset on the blockchain.
Right. I mean, for more information regarding who these vendors are, you could always proceed onto our white paper that's available on the Digix home site. The next question is, how are we keeping the funds raised in the blockchain? In the Crowdsale. Will it be in Ether, Bitcoin, or in fiat currency?
So like I had mentioned earlier, we are the funds don't go to Digix. They actually go into the Ethereum contract itself, and those and the funds are released through the project vetting and proposal process. We are looking into finding a way to either hedge the value or keep the ether in something stable, like MakerDAO's DAI tokens in the future, so that's volatility of ether price against the wealth of the DAO itself. So, but that's a future thing that will be done through a proposal to release those funds into another contract.
Right. Okay. So I hope that answers your point, Maurice. The next question is, would it be possible to put my physical asset on Digix platform, or only we will be able to do that? I think for now, we'll only be able to launch all the physical assets that are sold through our participating vendors. So, Casey, would you like to elaborate, the possibility of having someone else submit their physical asset through the Digix platform?
Yeah, for sure. Right. For now, we don't have plans yet, but in future that would be a possibility. So that's a transfer in process. To do a transfer in, we would have to get an auditor and an assayer to ascertain the value and the quality of the gold to make sure that it matches the LBMA approved ones that we currently purchase from our vendor. So when we scale, that is definitely a possibility.
Yes. Right. So the challenge is to make sure that we are only accepting LBMA certified with a level of purity that is published on the gold bar and the assay. So right now we are not equipped to authenticate that out of band without the auditor. But obviously in the future, we will have something along those lines where you guys can send a physical asset, and that's appraised before it goes into the vault. But currently, right now, we only do through our approved vendor, which is a participant on our platform.
Yep. So a little bit more information about our approved vendor. They are a publicly listed company on the main board of the Singapore Exchange. They are the biggest and the first pawn brokering business in Singapore to be listed. So we trust them based on connections we have with them, as well as their financial integrity of the company. So the next question would be is, if the crowd sale is successful, what does the roadmap look like, and when do we estimate going live? I think this is definitely a question that we as founders we talk a lot about, where what are we heading ahead with the crowd sale. We do have a lot of exciting plans ahead that we can definitely speak about. So I think we can speak a bit more about the Uport integration, as well as the Free My Fund partnership that we have. Casey and Anthony, maybe elaborate.
I think I can talk about some of the things that we have sort of been floating around. Some of the ideas include, like Casey had mentioned earlier, was integrating with EtherX. EtherX is a decentralized peer-to-peer exchange on Ethereum. So that would basically open up the transaction volume for the Digix Gold tokens, which would increase the amount of rewards that each token holder would receive from the DAO. The other thing is integrating with Coinify. Coinify has access to 10,000 merchants worldwide, and having access to those merchants would increase transaction volume, which increases the transaction fees collected by the DAO as well. The next project that we are looking at is basically creating mobile versions of the wallet to make sure that the gold tokens are transferable through a mobile wallet, and UI upgrades and updates to make sure that the UI is modern and easy to use for everybody. So there's going to be some usability. There's a usability project that we're going to be proposing, obviously subject through the approval of the DAO members. So those are the examples that we've pretty much given in our white paper document, which you can look at our Crowdsale page. There's other things such as integrating with Uport, which is Uport is basically an identity management system on Ethereum from Consensus. Consensus also basically their project allows you to put avatars associated to your Ethereum account, and what we're looking at is to basically extend that functionality into real-world KYC, so that a Uport token, a Uport user can then attach a KYC badge, which would allow them to either have increased transaction volumes or to redeem fiat for their assets in the future. So we want this to be a full end-to-end solution, and that we see that the DAO is basically the best avenue for us to achieve these goals without looking for external VC funding. And in return, the users get rewarded with the transaction fees that this platform would collect.
Yeah. Casey, any point to add on the roadmap?
Yeah, just to add on to this, if you look into our Crowdsale documentation, you could see a list of stuff that we have planned to integrate as we close the Crowdsale. Now, having said that, we also plan to raise a minimum of 500,000. Anything over and above that would allow us to run different projects concurrently, and it would definitely shorten the ETA that we need to complete these projects and integrations. So, for instance, if we did raise a couple of $1 million, that would enable us to build peripheral platforms as well for the benefit of the DAO token holders. And some of these planned projects would be like a collateral and lending platform. So in the case of Bitcoin, you have something like BTC Jam, where you could, as an individual, ask for a loan from anyone in the world using Bitcoins. Now we plan to do a similar service with our gold tokens as well. So the more we raise, the bigger and the better we can build the peripherals around DigixDAO, which would ultimately benefit the DigixDAO token holders.
Right. Okay. The next question from Marius is, if purchasing for multiple investors, can the DAO be shared among cold storage Ethereum wallets? And if so, will those wallets still gain rewards?
Yes.
I think it's a pooling, kind of idea, right?
Yeah, so basically this has been asked in a previous webinar as well, and we will be sharing a sample contract that you can deploy for your group. Let's say you have a group, a pool that want to invest together. You can do that, and we will create a proxy contract that would let you interact with it and share the rewards as well based on the amount of shares that you put. So you can, because our tokens are using the standard Ethereum token API, a lot of things can be developed around it.
Okay.
Particularly like the sharing contract and other multi-sig schemes that you can think of.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think this question was definitely surface. Is there something that we will look to address this well on the Groove HQ knowledge base that we have online? The next question as well is for Morris. Is there any idea of a return on investment on the DigixDAO? So the DigixDAO ultimately rewards the system users based on the transaction volume we have here of the Digix core system. Yeah. So one example that we stated in our white paper is the Ego transaction volume that we had witnessed in the past. Of course, this is a precedence that we act on. There's no guarantee. We try to push up volume on our end as well. There's no guarantee on the $2 billion transaction volume that ran through Ego. Ego can be seen also to run multiple quick transactions, which we are trying to encourage here on Digix. And Anthony or Casey can add more about the return on investment of the DAO.
Yes.
Yeah.
Based on a $2 billion per year transaction volume, and our transaction fees, you would probably see, if that were reached within the first year, I think that you would see, I think, 52 cents annuity on the on each token. So that's what you would get in transaction fees
Yeah, because
per
our
token.
transaction fees is at 0.13% of the Digix Gold token transaction. So for a $2 billion transaction, you could see something like 2.6 million redistributed back to the DAO token holders, prorated on the quantity of tokens that you own based off the total share of 2 million. So if someone were to own half of the DigixDAO tokens available, so if you were to own 1 million of the tokens available, for a $2 billion transactions, you could stand to gain 1.3 million back in reward every year. This is, of course, based on an estimate of what Ego had presented to us before. Casey, is there something you would like to add on this point?
No, I think it's well put. I think.
Okay. So yeah. So next question is, whose gold is going to be put on the Digix platform? Someone has to give or buy it. Right. So right now, currently, we have a double-digit amount of gold bars stored in our vault, and we have seen an increasing volume of gold bars sold through our platform on the marketplace over the last 2 months since we launched live. And yeah, we're currently still right now in beta testing, beta phase. And the client actually purchases gold bar off us using the virtual currency such as Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, or Dogecoin. And this purchaser is actually the one creating the volume of a transaction volume. So there is definitely an end client that we are speaking of here who is purchasing gold bars, minting them into tokens, and sending them around.
Yeah, we also have a token marketplace, which we sell up to 100 grams of worth of gold tokens on our marketplace today. You can purchase that with Bitcoins, Ether, Dogecoins. So we do purchase the bars and we mint them ourselves, and make that available on the marketplace for people to exchange their cryptocurrencies against.
Right, because I think we see from a business point of view, if a client were to come in and try to purchase gold bars off our server, an initial investment for a small scale investor of a bar that costs somewhere between 4,000 US dollars could be quite a sum. Hence, we're looking to generate traction and volume, as well as increase the popularity of our gold tokens as a means of transfer of value between peers and peers. So definitely that's why we actually purchase gold bars and mint them. The next question here is, can you actually sell your proposal badge down the road?
Yes, absolutely. So if you want to sell it, you can either sell it through a contract on Ethereum, where you would have somebody send Ether to it and it would release your badge to them. The other option obviously would be to sell that on EtherX. You can basically sell one token for some amount that you want to sell it for. The proposer badge is non-divisible but transferable. The DigixDAO tokens are divisible and transferable.
Right. If you've seen any more questions, you could always key them on the side panel. I think so far, right now, we have addressed almost all the questions. One common question that we usually receive at every webinar is there a fixed amount of token supply that we are locking in right now? So for this crowd sale, we have mentioned that we'll be releasing only 2 million tokens, and there is a fixed hard number that we are allocating on. And out of the 2 million tokens, just to recap, 15% will be released to the developers, and 85% will be released for the crowd sale, which is 1.7 million number of tokens. And definitely these tokens can be traded on to the decentralized EtherX exchange that will be possible in the second half of the year.
Yes, we're also talking to in early talks with some exchanges who might be interested in listing the DAO tokens on their exchange. This is still early. We're still at the early stage of the talks, but we will let you guys know how that goes. So there has been some interest from them.
Right. Is is there any other questions or any other points, Casey and Anthony, you might want to add on?
Yes. So I think that for those who this is their first webinar, we've basically asked people to help us get the word out about our crowd sale by posting on social networks like Twitter, Facebook, putting putting uh, putting together blog posts about what we're trying to do and inviting people to our webinars, which we do twice a week. Throughout the since last month or since the beginning of this month until the end of the crowd sale. We're going to try to do this to get people to join and an opportunity for everybody to ask questions and see how they can get involved. We have a Slack chat room that you guys can join. You can go on our website, either the crowd sale site or our official website, to get an invite into your email address and with instructions on how to join it. We already have done some of the translations as well. We released the Chinese and Japanese translations today. So if you guys have any foreign language speaking friends that might be interested, you can share them the site. And we're looking to do some other translations as well.
Right. I think there was a question that just streamed in earlier on by Marius. Would we be considering crude oil futures as a fungible asset?
Yeah, that's actually a very good suggestion. However, the vaults that we have contracted, Malka doesn't store liquid goods, so to speak. So we might have to find a different custodian for such a service. But definitely, that's a good suggestion and might look into it.
Right. Yep. So once again, our homepage is www.digix.io, and the sale page for the DigixDAO crowd sale is sale.digix.io. Sale.digix.io. And you could always
I've
reach
also
out to us
on the chat as well, so you guys can see that link.
Yeah, just to share with you some of the activity that has been going on the Slack channels of Digix. We have been taking questions on a daily basis and we answer them almost within 24 hours. So if there's any burning questions you'd like to ask the management or even ask your other peers that's available on Slack, there's always very healthy discussion going on. So you could always join in, participate, and this is all what the spirit of the DAO that we're trying to build here. We're trying to encourage a community where ideas get thrown around, gets evaluated, and that's something that we hope to achieve, with the successful crowd sale that we're looking forward to.
Yep.
So I think that's all for the questions. We will
Yes.
end the
If you guys have more questions, ask us in the chat, or we like I said earlier, we do this twice a week, so you can jump on another one of them.
The next one would be this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Do take note that the daylight saving hours had kicked in, so please do plan accordingly to your respective time zones. So the next call will be once again on Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all for joining the call today. I think we received really good suggestions and questions from your end, and we will always welcome you to speak on to us through Slack. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone.